Hello, Cami here from Real Tools, Real Options again, and I'm glad you could join me. We are going to have another success spotlight, and this is Scott. He's going to explain where he came from and then where he ended up being. There's Scott, also known as Scooty.
Let me tell my story. I actually started back in 2005. There was a major shift in my life. I had worked since I was right out of college. I was a sales rep. I became a sales trainer in a company, became a sales manager in a company. I became a regional director in that company. I became a VP in that company. It was very performance-based. And unfortunately, it was about product. We were moving product straight to businesses and straight to people, anybody that would look at it. Unfortunately, the first hiccup that company encountered was big box stores like Costco and Sam's Club. And then the second hiccup that took it out was the digital space, right? So you could buy stuff cheaper online than you could get sold by a human. I, at that point, was in charge of 4 states, 22 managers that had crews going out every single day showing off product. And they're like, hey guys, we have reached the end of this rope. Technology change has made it so we can't do business the way we're used to doing business. And it was, it's nobody's fault. It's just a paradigm shift in technology. Well, my wife and I met in that company. So she was taking care of the warehouses that I was in charge of. I was taking care of the people that were using those warehouses and going out and getting a business. And it was over. It was all over. We did try a stint where I was in charge of a delivery book situation for them, but way less. We went from I went from $212,000 a year down to like 53 grand. And we realized that, we used to think big. We lost our ability to pay for a place downtown and a place in South Beach. We couldn't do that anymore. We're renting a situation in Naperville, Illinois. And, things were tough because we're like, how do we build this back? How do we get back? And we had no idea until my wife, and I had an idea. I'm like, why don't we do properties? I'd met some folks that had done properties before. This young man that had rental properties. I'm like, I came home. I'm like, hey, why don't we get rental properties? And she's like, we don't have no clue on how to do that. So fortunately for me and her, she saw a roadside sign, an absolute, corrugated stick thing in the grass. She drove by, she came in, she's like, I saw a sign. And I'm like, from God? And she's like, no, there's a guy out there that wants to help you learn real estate investing. And I guess you could get paid or something. I'm like, oh, you mean the handwritten magic marker sign by the gas station? She's like, yes, you saw it too? I'm like, I did. And if that guy can afford to pay me anything, how come he doesn't have a sign on 294, big shot real estate investor guy? And her answer was, I don't know. So she called the sign, and a young lady invited her down to the meeting. My wife came in to the house that day. She's like, hey, I've got a meeting set up for us to go and hang out. And I'm like, you mean you? I'm not going nothing. She's like, well, you're not going to go. I'm like, I'm not going anything. And now they're the credit cards. Keep those at home. So she went down to this meeting, and, she came home excited, even more excited than the sign. And, when your wife's excited about something and you want to stay married, what do? You go shopping. So I went down to the meeting and I sat in the front row. I was not a nice guy. I was stiff arming people. I'm like, yeah. You know how you want to stay away from all the happy people a little bit because they're too happy and drink all the Kool-Aid. So I sat in the front row because that's where I sit. And I had my arms crossed, and I was glaring at the public speaker going, trying to screw him up a little bit. Like, what did you tell my wife? And, she's sitting next to me, and the meeting was good. It made a lot of sense to me. Obviously, they had some fantastic content in it, so I couldn't argue with what they were saying. It was all obvious. I did meet a nurse in the group that had 12 properties, Denise Rybel. I met a firefighter named Steve Saul at 14 properties, an ex-art teacher that had 22 properties that night. And I thought to myself, well, these are middle-class folks that are doing the things that I actually brought to my wife. Let's buy some properties. And they're doing it, right? I had no clue where to start. I was just like, let's swing it. And they said, oh no, I had to look at properties, I had to go through law of averages. I'm talking to people. It gave me a sense that, I should probably plug and play. So there was 2 components to this situation. One, where we could learn how to do real estate investing progressively. So wherever you started, if you got no money or credit, which was us, then we started wholesaling, which we started doing. And then we worked on short sales, even because it was a crash 08, shooting fish in a barrel. We learned how to do that, help some families out. Did our first fix and flip in Streamwood, Illinois, and we're just rolling. There was one component though, in the meeting itself. They said, "Hey, is there anybody here that's looking to earn money?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I'm here, earn money." No, we're talking while you learn. I'm like, "Yeah, let me talk to you about that." So I did get with the guy in the front of the room, and I was blown away. He's explained to me, I'm like, "That exists here?" All right, so I want to do that too. So fortunately for us, there was a way that we could start making money while we were learning the real estate investing, which meant that because of the two ideas, my wife and I have never needed a job since we went down to that meeting. Even though our resumes were on the internet, I even told her after they got done explaining that to me, I'm like, you know what? I mean, I like the fact that they're doing real estate, but I thought we'd still need a job. I can them expand. I think we could parlay that into income now while we're learning, so we don't need to fight traffic ever. And it worked out. So the plan worked out. My wife and I hit it hard. We worked 6 days a week just to pull ourselves out. But today we've helped 15,000 plus people get started since we started. And we run webinars every single day to help people. We have weekly situations where we help people. We got monthly situations where we help people, and all this help is different. So the daily help looks different than the weekly help. The weekly help looks different than the monthly help. Attached to the education company, which is very highly rated. I mean, I checked that out as far as checking out the BBBs and stuff. Anyway, the point is, my wife and I, we used to go to work every single day, and we'd fight traffic, and we'd go to work, and we'd deal with life like, oh God, getting road rage, and we'd come home from road rage, and we would talk about people. And I don't know if you guys deal with this, it might sound bad, but when you're dealing with people on a daily basis every single day, and there's politics at the job and stuff, you come home going, oh, you're not gonna believe what happened today. And the conversations were around dragging ourselves through this thing till we're 65 years old. Today, the conversations about people are different. Hey, did you hear Umar's he picked up a trailer park? Did you hear Michael Huggins got 265 acres in Tennessee? Did you hear Scott Loader is working on his next fix? He's fix and flip madman. Did you hear Randy Perler's got 9 fix and flips going on at the same time? So today, it's more of a celebration of people versus, oh my God, I gotta go see those people again. So it's been great. And the only thing I can say is probably if you're on here for the first time or you aren't started with this group, I'm not a real people person. I'm more of an executive where I'll tell you, let's get going and get done. This has been great for me because it gave me a chance to set goals. It gave me a chance to actually, get information, use it on projects and helping other people. It gave me a chance to create the lifestyle I want. I really hate, now that I hate fighting traffic. Now I know. I wake up in the mornings, I get on a webinar, I'm hanging out with the crew all over the country. It's been great daily. I get to have 6 cars now where I only was worried about 1 or 2. Motorcycles, I'm collecting motorcycles now because my wife can handle motorcycles over his cars. So it's been a great lifestyle change for us. We've encountered great people, all these people online with us today. It's been fantastic. So my suggestion is just get back in touch with the person who invited you to this and say, hey, how do I get more information? I mean, we have property tours all the time on a weekly basis. We have introduction meetings. We have follow-up Q&As that you can get on. But my suggestion is figure out what the person who invited you here, what their intentions are with you and how to help you out because they know you better. We're just trying to give you our stories from when we got involved. It was, thank God my wife was right. She dragged me down that meeting.
We want to encourage you to get more information. One thing we're doing this weekend as an entire nationwide team is a big intensive on fix and flips, how to find properties, how to source them, how to raise the capital on it, how to organize the project, how to make sure to run the numbers. The instructor who's doing it has been doing a fix and flip every 3 days for the last 10 years. Every 3 days.
She's a woman. So get all the ladies on because it's a woman's world now.
That's right. She just also got 2018 Residential Builder of the Year award in her area of the country. She's doing a lot of great things. So it is by invitation only. So you do need the private link in order to join. And we'd love to have all of you there. So you can hear more about how you can go from where you're at to where you want to be, whether that's be more in control of your time and your finances or be surrounded by people who you care about and care about you. There's some magic happening in this organization. So we want to welcome you.
There's work involved, but it's a lot. That's not a 4-letter word when you're hanging with this group. It's a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun. We turned work into fun, so it's great.
So that was Scott, and his story is quite interesting, isn't it? The workshop that they're talking about, we do have a real estate intensive that we do every month. So I can let you know which ones are going on. Also, property tours are going on all the time, where you can actually meet students who are going through it, and they can tell the story of how they found the property and the numbers, and maybe help that they had from the community with different challenges that came about. So, but yeah, glad you could join me today, and look forward to seeing you again at the next one.